I don't know where the flashlight is on here. Let me see what I can figure out. Okay, flipping it, I get the option of a light. Either way. Good morning, good morning. I got far enough away from the house. I scissored up the hat a bit. And as soon as we get an opening. But I figured we could have a walk and talk since I paid off my phone bill due to the miracle of payday lending crap. No, I'm not going to take the whole stream to complain. I got most of my complaints out of the way in the Minecraft stream. Sorry and hope you were there. But just the start of my day, and this is my late starting day. Give me just one more. Okay. See, the way the road's built, you got to be careful because I can't see over that hill. They can't see over that hill. And I'd rather not be made into roadkill. So, it's always good to approach the road, wait a hot second, check your six, listen. Oh. Yesterday was pretty good. Today will hopefully be better. And hey, at least more than likely I'm off on the 4th, so I might do a content video for y'all then, or we might just go live on the video game. I don't know. I plan on, if I get a break, doing a bit of work to my hat and going from there. Well, since I don't know if there'll be any way for y'all to see anything outside of like the flashes of light of the cars passing by. Honestly, the one good thing about but we at least have like hardly any traffic for this part of the morning. Got a couple books, though at the moment it's too dark to read any of them. Hello, Chip Chop 199. How are y'all doing? Whoop, that was a hole. There was a couple things happening yesterday roundabout. One of my neighbors had a barbecue out, which was pretty nice. It looks like they're trying to do a little from-home restaurant thing, and I wish them the best on that one. Hello, and I'm doing right completely. Though I have 10 of you here, so I'm happy to see that. I mean, there's lots of hot button issue things going on right now. I mean, from the hearing of the ending of birthright citizenship, that's fucking nuts. Oh, how's it going? Anytime Fitness. I ain't seen the rise of that one. I've been walking past there for a couple months now, and this is the first time I've actually seen so many cars in the parking lot this early. It's good to see people getting in shape. With the state of the world going the way it is, I don't know which body type would be best, considering just continuing to get hotter and hotter. Around the town around us. Basically, the big complaint that I've heard from the various PBS channels, as well as various actual experts compared to just people like myself, big issue, we've got stuff like this right here, outside of the litter and such. The blacktop. It attracts the heat. It doesn't displace much of it, and it holds a whole lot of it. On top of that, this little tree was planted, I'd say about 6 months ago. And yeah, it's going to do its job. It's doing its best right now. Creating shade. When wind passes through it, it helps to cool the wind down so that it doesn't feel like you're getting blown by a hairdryer as you walk. But the problem is for every one of them, we've cut down about 20 to 30 others. Now, isn't that a beautiful sunrise, though? Believe it or not, once upon a time, you'd be looking at that through a bunch of different little trees and shrubs. Because this used to be used for cows and horses. Then it was used for corn and farm goods for a while. And if I had to guess, I'm going to say they're probably about to put houses up on it. If you notice, that's a mimosa tree there, and they make it smell just beautiful. Hello. Give me just one moment because I'm shaking the phone as I walk. Emirin Ork. Emirin Ork. Hope y'all are doing all right. Let me just take a little step because, like I said, downside to walking in Georgia, there's not a whole lot of space for those of us who do the, whoa, that's a big deep hole. I'm okay. I did not, in fact, die. There's just, can you see the pothole? I couldn't. Again, the downside to being in Georgia, especially rural Georgia at 6 a.m. Now we got something to talk about. Yay! I was sitting here trying to figure out what we was going to complain about. The trick is to stop and hope that they don't hit you. That's the real trick. Didn't go live at sunrise, but I figured I'd go ahead and capture it as it rose. Give y'all that are watching from whatever place a chance to see it from my perspective. Oh. Yeah, if you can hear them coming, typically what it is, if it's a motorcycle, that's something people be seeing. If it's a pavement princess, well, that's a little bitch that has a tiny penis. They're loud, they're obnoxious, and honestly, those giant trucks make the price of good trucks go up as well. Long ago, you could get a truck on a single payday. Nowadays, you can't even get a used one unless you save up for quite a few months. I mean, it could be prevented, but the county doesn't see a need to put in a sidewalk. They want strong grandmas and children and people like myself walking. Otherwise, we can just die in a ditch, I suppose. Because if you notice, all the cars that are going by so fast, they're all people. Some of them kids going off to get into trouble, I'd assume. The ones in the pavement princesses and the loud cars, you didn't get to see that many of them. But most of them are good folks, rushing to try to get to work like myself. And this is my biggest dilemma, though. It's the bright light epidemic is what I'm calling it. Because you see, the cops can get you if your windows are slightly tinted. Oh, I can't see your whole face from across the road. Sir, I need to get you for that window tinting. But if you want to have the surface of the sun in front of your car, if you want to blind everybody else, that's fine, that's cool, go ahead, but no problems at all there. Where are our priorities at as a country? I mean, not anywhere good, obviously. I mean, if there were anywhere good, we wouldn't have a pedophile sex pest as a president. We would have a lady president for the first time in the U.S. history. But you know, no use crying over spilled milk and all that. I'm just going to be saying, as someone that voted responsibly, yeah, we could have had it. Now, am I going to say everything would be perfect? Absolutely not. We would be fighting like hell to be heard about the genocide going on immigrants like we're seeing. ICE probably wouldn't have the power that they do to be a Gestapo agency. I'm just saying, at this point in time, we can sit back and say, hey, if you're a Trump supporter, I think it's a real positive sign you're a racist. And maybe you're a Trump supporter that's just scared because, ooh, I'm just small bean. I made a horrible decision. Will they hate me forever? Well, here's the thing, bud. There's responsibility. And you like at every single No Kings protest that there can be. If you voted for the bastard, well, I would expect you to be the loudest one against this. Because to be quite honest, unless you are, I'm just going to assume that, yeah, you agree with all the things the old fascist is doing. Nah, I do, not to quote the meme, because it is a meme at this point, I mostly do this to both raise awareness, because this route that I'm on, y'all, this is just the route Google says Hey, if you want to get into cars, literally, this is Google. The other route that I know of that I would take, but then it turns this 2-hour hike into about an 8-hour hike, would be to take that road that we passed where I pointed out the mimosa tree, take it down until it connects with the other road, which I believe is Iron Belt, but my mental map is probably screwed up. But take the first right, coming up on the McDonald's, the four-way going up on the McDonald's. Last time I walked it, that was technically the safest stroke, and you'll have to worry about like wild dogs perhaps, but you're not going to have to worry about, you've got enough space and it's flat for the most part, because where it's not flat at, you can walk until you find a flat area. Oh yeah, you'll also have some fences. That'll be a bit of a bitch, but it's technically safer. Yeah, I finally managed to pay my phone bill. Earnings okay now. Where Empower takes 3 days to fully clear their money they take out of the account. I don't have access to it because it's their money, not mine. But I also can't take out another loan from them. So it's sort of, I'm in limbo. And that's with, 38 to 43 hours a week. And all these lovely extra projects. One, about 14-hour walk through heat stroke inducing wasteland. Or break the law to cross the bridge, where if I get caught crossing the bridge, that'll be an $800 fine. And the bridge is wildly unsafe, let's be clear. There's a reason they don't want you crossing it, it's just they don't give you any other option either. You ever had those situations happen? That happens a lot here in the US. It's kind of a byproduct of we don't fund our medical staff. We barely fund the fire department. But we'll always find an extra $100,000 for the police department. Like I said, our firefighters are using equipment passed down and hand-me-down. Okay, that's being a little hyperbolic there. A lot of them are using hand-me-down equipment, but I can't really, fault them too much considering they moved 2 fire stations and tore down 1 fire station, turned 1 fire station into a pet vet clinic. So, I guess that's where their budgeting's going, is building new buildings. And we have 2 lovely new we have 2 lovely new vehicles in the fleet. And that's the thing, y'all, it's our money, so it'd be nice to see where it's going. There's a reason they don't have the money to put a sidewalk in, or to put in hydration stations, or to put in affordable housing for you and me. They got to build little mini McMansions for the assholes that move down, transplant and form, and do like the, content creation. Hey, watch me open up 900 useless freaking items today. Aren't these all cool? Don't you wish you could have these 900 flip? Give you an example. 82 degrees according to Weather Check. Because, that was one thing that I was going to talk about. News listing. But they're not going to be using drones and satellites to check on storms anymore. They're just defunding that portion. So we're going back to the method from before I was around. Basically, if a storm... at least some people get to die with all the toys, right? Because right now, walking past one person's land, one little family's land that they are, I'm guessing, renting out portions, and at least once or twice a year they rent it out to host a car show. But yeah, called the Hayfields. It's a lovely place, but when I tell you this place gives new meaning to heat in the summer, it's because once upon a time, this was woods. And now we have this. And like I said, about 2-3 times a year, it's kind of pretty because you got a bunch of old ass cars stacked in it. The rest of the year it looks like this. Empty, dead, mowed grass. This is about how far off the road I am to be safe. Because believe it or not, there are quite a few drunks. And while there are no bars from behind me, there are of course about 4 to 5 drinking holes in front of me. Just in the main Cartersville area. Depending on your flavor of what kind of people you want to drink around. We got a honky-tonk-esque biker bar that is the Tom's or Todd's place. Their sign doesn't have a full name. It's a star, and it was once Tom or Todd's place. And that's your little biker bar watering hole. That's where you're probably going to score something bad at, or you're probably going to get into a fight at. That's your roadhouse. Now, if you want the Disney Roadhouse experience, the modern Roadhouse, go on down to Six's Tavern. They got a honky-tonk, they do live bands, they have bike shows, they have a bus, they have a party bus, and like I said, it's like teeny tiny LA or something. It's nothing bad, I'm not mocking them or nothing, it's just, they pretend to be what Tom's Place is. And it's kind of fun to have the two literally within like a rock's throw of each other. And then if you go further into Cartersville, of course, you have several other little dives and stuff. Like I said, one thing about us in the South, we might not have a lot of education, might not have a lot of good third places to gather. We sure do got a lot of churches and alcoholic places, though. Church, a Baptist place, and a liquor store. That's what the South should be known for. Hell, fuck putting the damn racist fucking Civil War flag up. Why don't you just put a flag with a liquor store and a church on it? Yeah, that joke is kind of lame, but we're kind of lame here, ain't we? Nah, honestly, it's hard to not lose hope, you know? But you can't lose hope and faith in things. Because it's like right now I'm having to carefully plan out my thoughts and carefully shoot this. One, I'm kind of happy it's so dark. Can't see what I'm smelling. Because yeah, there's a lot of dead things on this road. Mostly because our city and our county don't fund enough. They'll say they do. But I mean, let's be honest, folks. Our teachers still have to buy school supplies to teach our children with. I mean, I constantly hear this generation don't want to work, this generation ain't got no work. Yeah, but this generation's having to dodge bullets in class. Because my fellow Americans are so obsessed with their tiny little guns that they can't think of, oh my God, if we could just lock these up better. If we made them harder to act, because again, if there were good gun owners, these kids wouldn't be getting a hold of their parents' guns. Oh, well, it's the kids' fault. Why? I mean, yes, the children do bear some degree. A hunter. Yeah, but what if the communists try to invade? I need it to fight the commies. Okay, that's stupid, but why you need it for that? It's my right, and that's where it ends at here in America. It just ends with a petulant child screaming, it's my right, and then their child goes and murders a whole bunch of other children. I mean, I'm not saying that we should disarm. I personally would like that because my fellow countrymen are fucking crazy. But as a fellow person who needs that armament sometimes, yeah, I don't think that we should disarm. I just think we need to make it less of a fetish. And the plumber's wrenches. How many of y'all got a full toolkit? Because that's all the gun is. It's a tool. It's a very dangerous and deadly tool, especially in the hands of people that have no interest in utilizing it properly. Because again, most of the people that own it for self-defense, if you hear them talking about it, it's never this bashful, coy, well, I hope I never have to use it. I just go to the range every once in a while to practice. No, it's always, well, I wish somebody would try. I wish somebody tried to come for my last Hot Pocket and my Pabst Blue Ribbon. Oh, I wish they'd try. No, dude, you have nothing worth stealing. You're my fellow American. You've got a TV that would have been impressive in the early 2000s, but now it's just cheap, remade fucking Temu shit. and you've got microwavable because we traded being able to cook for food deserts and fast food. We traded family meals for, haha, kids. I mean, it was a trade. Maybe you didn't know the trade you were making when you made it, but hell, it was a trade. My problem is and is it a problem in other countries? Because I hear it all the time, and most of the time it seems like it's either the UK, and by the UK I mean specifically Britain, but it's usually Britain, Australia, and us. What is it with the religious crazies in us? Because I don't have a problem with you worship the Christian God or you worship the Hindi God, or I don't have a problem with you worship something. By all means, you worship it. Cool, go for it. More power to you. My problem is, but I don't want you to do that. Okay, what do you mean? You're wearing a dress, sir. You're wearing a dress. Just admit that me looking super fabulous in a dress makes you feel uncomfortable. My only question is it because you don't know if you look fabulous in the dress? Or is it because I look too fabulous in the dress? Because really, that's the only question it breaks down to when it comes to you making these hillbillies upset. It's because you made them feel feelings that they aren't used to feeling. Yeah, y'all, I'm getting a little out of breath. But it's been 26 minutes so far of steady walking, and I can't really afford to take a break, and we need to focus on me. Hey, look at me. Look at me and don't look at that. Look at me. How's that going, y'all? Please do us a favor. We're 27 minutes in, not even halfway through. Please like the stream and do not try to pay too close attention behind me. That would be a deer that we passed if you happen to notice something. That was a deer that just couldn't quite get out the way of these cars. The thing is, not to go all Full Metal Alchemist, but everything is equivalent exchange. And if we do something, well, those bombs cost money. They cost expertise to make. That's all things that could have been going to fixing our crumbling infrastructure. Because give y'all an example, oh, the camera's not going to pick it up yet. We will once the sun come up more. This road ain't nothing but a cracked up shithole. And this is our main road. This is U Harley, Maine. This is the way to get from U Harley into Cartersville proper. And I can't tell you how many cracks she got in her. Mostly because we never repair it. Our politicians are far too busy, worried about how to give the car dealerships a better handhold, how to give, the realtors better handholds, and how to build more luxury housing for pompous assholes that want to come down into the South and pretend to be Southern. And there's a lot of you out there. Jesus Christ, Logan Paul's somewhere in my neck of the woods now, and I can't tell you how much that disgusts me. An old man not an old man, adult man-child who abuses old people and sexually exploits and or harasses women. Why'd you come to the South, bitch? We don't like your type here. Maybe some of them do, but they ain't worth being Southern. No, I'm much more of the Southerner that we respect our mamas, we respect our sisters, and we care about our fellow men. It's a very rare Southerner, I'll admit that. We were the ones that were fighting with and fighting against the original cops. Because remember, there are terrible people out there, and I ain't gonna lie. Scroll through here, I'm sure you'll find half a dozen people just yelling some sick shit about Muslims or about other people they don't understand. It's not gonna be me. If I dislike somebody, it's because of something I've seen you doing. For example, how is it that we have churches down here than anything else? And I do mean that. We'll have a joy of it one day. I'll walk around and we'll just point out church, liquor store, church, liquor store, church, church, church. Why do we have a homeless population here at all? With that many churches, Well, shit, why ain't they just living in the churches with y'all? Oh, wait, I forgot. Y'all are about that new American Jesus. The fuck my migrants, get rid of my poor. Money, money, money here, money, money, money now. That's the Christ y'all follow. Well, hopefully no one watching me at least. But my fellow American seems to have lost a whole lot. Because, yeah, the original Christians, they were crazy. I ain't gonna lie, they were. But they were devout to their, sun god. So, I ain't seen that from these new Christians. Most of them seem to be obsessed with a hedonistic god of sorts. And for the record, if you don't know the hedonistic word, it means they're obsessed with the now. There's no worry about tomorrow because you got now. I'm not worried about tomorrow because I know that tomorrow. And if I die, that's never going to come. I would just like to point out again, this is why I don't like walking sometimes. That's about a 3-4 foot drop into briars, poison, and pain. Or, if someone swerves, you can choose the other option, which will be getting hit by a pavement princess. Because again, this is the main road. Also, for anyone who wonders why so many of our unhoused and so many of our pedestrians have been just dropping out of heat stroke and dying, like the graduation incident that was on the Smithsonian, fellows were basically, they had over 100 graduates gathered, and I think it was Arizona, but it was one of the sunnier places. And they literally had like over 40 people almost succumb to heat stroke and die. Getting hotter, folks. And doing shit like this, just gonna make it hotter still. We cannot kill the environment and get the outcome that is livable. That's also why when certain people I know that have been in the construction field of expertise and have worked in other fields than what I do, they constantly tell me, oh, dude, if you just came here and didn't, talk to the bosses about how shitty they were, you too could make money like I do. Yeah, dude, maybe you're making it, but I see a lot of your coworkers barely able to survive and cut by. And at the very least, yeah, I might not be living on the Ritz. I might be having to take out 3-4 loans every payday just to make by. But at the end of the day, I'm going to eat. At the end of the day, hopefully I'll be able to bring scraps home to my animals. If y'all get a bad day and an asshole boss, say you're having to build for the Trump family, so they fire you right as you're finished and don't pay you a damn rat cent, I'm curious, what are you going to eat that night? Or are y'all going to eat that nails and drywall diet? Like I said, I'm not bad-mouthing folks. Let me be clear. There is no war but class war. And we're losing, folks. The common person, we're losing out more and more every day. And as we continue to lose out more and more, I'm just telling you, we got to circle the wagons more. We got to work together more. Or I don't know. Maybe we can just go with the American thing and say fuck everybody else, As long as I live long enough, I'll be fine dying alone, burning alive inside my trailer or inside my tiny escape vehicle. The reason I say that is because I don't know what you drive, but I guarantee you, once the fires come to your home, you'll be abandoning it in whatever you can grab. That's the thing, y'all. I do study the histories, and I see where we're headed. I've read those books. I don't like those stories. And we're racing to get there, and a lot of people are cheering for it. It's like, how many people keep calling out for let's start World War III? And it's like, that's insane. That seems like a really bad take, considering if World War III is fought, that is a fundamental sign that the entire human race has failed. And in, I guess, a good sense of the way, if World War III happens, we're going to wipe ourselves out. Y'all, I want you to take a full breath and notion of where we live as a society. Because, yes, weapons are fun. Ha-ha, we should all own them, yes. But, real talk, though. You know, we got weapons that can set the air around you itself on fire, literally. Like a missile that hits, pulls all the oxygen out, and then ignites what's left. Or no, it leaves the oxygen, pulls everything else out of the air, and then ignites the oxygen that has now become supercharged. We've got that. We've got the missile that our president committed a war crime with the last time he was in office. That basically hits a target and unleashes into several blades. And that's the lowest tech weapon we've got, and that still cost enough that, 200,000 American children had to starve to death so that we could blow up a Middle Eastern ruler. That's my problem, y'all. Everything has a cost. And too many Americans are just, well, that's my guy, that's my team, woo! Yeah, but son, look at what's behind you. Look at your real team. Look into the faces of your children who you're robbing the future from. And then tell me your team's winning. Because again, what we're heading for is a full-scale economic collapse, which unfortunately seems to happen every time the Republicans get hold of the show. We missed it during the Biden administration because it came right after a very, very profitable Obama administration. And Trump had only managed to drain some of the coffers. Y'all, he started out with the biggest dipshit Nepo baby on earth helping him run shit. So, yeah, they've thoroughly drained those coffers now. The median retirement age in the United States as of today, June 29th, 2025, as of today, what they're expecting for my generation and the ones after me, you'll need to be 78 years old before you retire. Y'all, I want you to think about the 78-year-old in your life. I want you really hard right now to picture that. Do you know anyone? Because I don't personally know anyone that's lived to be 78 years old. I've known a few that made it up to like in their 80s. But by the time you start hitting those ages, every day you wake up and don't shit your britches is a good day. Any day you don't fall down and break 6 bones by reaching to get a newspaper is a good day. That is not, let's be clear, you should definitely retire by that age. But that is not golden years enjoying yourself. You're just biding until the time's done. And what I'm saying is, we shouldn't be doing that. Instead, we should be retiring at like 50. And that's not just because I'm almost 50. I'm at least 10 years off from it or more. But still, we should be retiring at like 50. Our bodies will be started to wear down bad. We'll be able to enjoy ourselves still. And the whole point of retirement back in the day when it was planned out, when Social Security was pitched, was that we all give a little. And none of us ever have to die penniless in a pauper's home or drop dead on the line like so many old people back in the day were doing. That was the goal of retirement. And now they're telling us, as my fellow Americans, that you need to just hang in there and tough it out till 78. Okay, cool. Here's the other question in the matter, though. Where are you going to be toughing it out at? Because I can tell you right now, you ain't going to be in food service. Most of my bosses will not hire someone over the age of 60 for the simple fact of you become a risk after that. The heat could kill you. You could contaminate something accidentally. Also, I'm sorry, but old people aren't exactly fast. I'm not knocking my elderly viewers, even though I don't have any of those according to the algorithm. I'm not knocking them, I'm just saying. We need to respect our elders. I think around the age of 50 should be a competent and fine age to retire. Because again, y'all, this is what you're fighting so hard for here in America. Empty fields, auto zones, There's a vet clinic over there. Here's something fun. I would happily take my pets to that vet clinic, which is obscenely expensive. But here's the problem. They're also, 1 minute, let me make sure I got them in frame. That one all the way down there, those 3 lights, they're extremely expensive. And I'm not knocking their skill because I wouldn't know their skill. What I do, and this is another one, the Elwood. Not calling them out here, but it's like here's my problem with staffing agencies. They're paying the staffing agency roughly what they would pay their basic employee. The staffing agency pays you a tiny portion of that because, again, it's not about, oh, I'm a staffer because I want to get people out there into work. No, most of the time, I'm a staffer because, well, I don't want to fucking do it. I'm a staffer because I want to get paid and sit at this desk and send them to do it. And I mean, that's just the way they've always shown. That's the way I've always seen them act. I mean, again, they'll feed you the line like anyone. Oh, I'd pay you more, but I can't do it. Yeah, but you could, Blanche. If we united and fought together, we could all get paid a lot more. And again, I'm not saying that the owners should be poor and destitute, but there should not be 100% difference between the employees' pay and the owner's pay. And 100% difference is generous. Look at what Jeff Bezos pays his lowest paid employees. Hey, how many of y'all took a vacation for your wedding? How many of y'all got to plan a wedding? How many of y'all just went to the courthouse because you couldn't afford anything else? Jeff Bezos rented out Italy. How many of Jeff Bezos' employees could rent out the Little Caesars? There's your problem, folks. Like I said, I'm not here to say let's start fires, but I am here to say treat the rich like what they are. Parasites. They're bleeding you and, more importantly, your children. And yeah, I'll say it right here on their platform because I don't get paid to do this stream, y'all. I'm paid for by viewers like you in real life too, because I don't set up the online thing to be like trash. And yeah, that's a terrible angle, but I'm carrying my walking stick at the moment. But I try to record this for my fellow Americans, my fellow viewers like you. So yeah, when I say crazy shit, there's a reason. It's worth saying. When I say President Trump raped a child and the court case was thrown out because he was running for president, it's because he raped a child. He didn't essay a child. He didn't do something terrible. No, he did a rape. He raped someone. It was a fucking unspeakable crime. Say what it fucking was. When I tell you that an actor or an actress did something wrong, I'm not going to say, oh, that poor girl that did nothing but fox rescue videos was bullied to the point that she unsubscribed from life. I'm not going to say, oh, that poor content creator. No, that person committed suicide. They killed themselves because all that she wanted to bring into the world was light and happiness and help foxes and other little animals. And all the internet gave her for it was, threats to hurt her, threats to rape her, threats to murder her pets. That's all they gave her in response to the light and love she gave the world. And so I'm sorry, but I personally think it's insulting as fuck to that dear woman's memory to not say what actually happened and instead put a cutesy twist on it so that Walmart or Bezos can put an ad on your video so that Bass Pro Shop can get their money in. No, advertisers, fuck you. Because someone at least out here needs to be able to say, fuck you, I'm not for sale. I'm out here saying shit because it needs to be said. As ignorant as it may be said because I can't do my proper research because I ain't getting paid out like these shills. I mean, why you think it is that this section is the one section that actually gets some degree of woods? Why? Well, that one's quite simple. Most of the owners in that area own their homes, unless they were foolish enough to sell them. If you own your home, you want your home to be safe. You want your home to be cool and warm in the winter. You want your home to be sustainable. If you're renting, Well, who gives a shit? Let it fall in. That's what most people do. I hate to break it to you. There's a reason why nobody buys luxury cars from the used car lot. Yes, that's my staff. Yes, it's not quite long enough to easily carry, and I have yet to make a sheath. I made a neat hat band first. I'll get better pictures of the hat band later. I made it literally as I was heading out the door. But yeah, y'all, I watch it mostly, admittedly, on YouTube. I watch like documentary people. I watch informational things. I watch some political things, but my opinion is very... I don't like the rage personas. I don't like nonsense. I don't like people just doomering. Because, yeah, there's a time for that. Hell, I do it sometimes. Let me be walking home this afternoon in 98-degree heat while all these assholes own 6 different vehicles and fuel them up and continue cranking up the heat. I get a little doomery. I ain't gonna lie. It kind of sucks. But I'm also telling you how to get around it, how to fix it. Because if there's a problem, there is a solution. And almost always, that solution is nonviolent. Let me be very clear here as well when I say this, though. Sometimes, violence is a solution. Look at your history books. I can say no more than that. That's not just a matter of advertisers. That's a matter of YouTube will take me down. This person just passed by with the police van will arrest me. So, let's be clear. Violence is never the answer. But read your history books. It should be the last tool in your tool belt. Your first tool, well, that, friends, that's communication. That's community outreach. That's building. And you should always try to lead with an open hand. To try to help. Right now I'm about to walk past basically what is the equivalent to a meat grenade. At least I got him out the road. But yeah, if something hits him, he's going to explode in a terrible way. Hey, look at that. I patted that. But I patted it for you because, well, it's like I'm constantly torn when I find people's pets. A part of me, a visceral, real part of me, what I want to do when I see a dog or a cat that's hit, check it for a collar, and then bury it and put the collar on a stick right there at the hole. That way people know. I want to do something to let people know, but at the same time, ignorance is kind of bliss, ain't it? I mean, I'm pretty sure that one of my favorite black cats, Knox, well, not Noche, I'm pretty sure he got hit by a car about 2 days after I got him out of the unsafe situation in the house he was in. But I'm not positive of that, and the cat I buried, I can't be positive that was Noche. So in my mind, Noche found a happy home somewhere else, hunting and playing, and he's got some kid to take care of and that got nothing but love in the world to give him. That's a lie I tell myself, because it beats the real reality that, yeah, my cat was likely hit by a car. But we can lie to ourselves. That's fine. It's just my brain doesn't let me. Whenever I try to lie, it becomes a little grinding thing in my head that's just, if it's an outright lie, it's a loud grinding. If it's like what I just said, our politicians give all the money to real estate developers and shit like that. I can't be sure of that. I would need to actually look that up and fact check it. I know they're mismanaging it because, duh. I mean, I don't see a whole lot of civil programs helping nobody out. Our library, which is very robust and nice, that video is coming up soon, but our library is mostly funded by donors and patrons, not by the state. So again, state and county, what the fuck you doing with all our money, huh? Like I said, where is it going? Because I'm fine with it being spent. I'm all for taxing people. Believe it or not, that taxes make governments. Governments make societies. Society is what separates us from our baby brain eating original fucking peoples. That's not a dig at the indigenous people. That's literally evolutionarily when we started, we weren't, and that's why these alpha male podcast dipshits just amuse the hell out of me. Because I picture them back in those days. And it's, nah, y'all, humans were not alpha animal. No, no, no. We had two advantages. One major one is that we sweat. So when we went to chase a deer, about 3 people, and we chase it down to the point of exhaustion, and then just walk up on it and beat it to death with a stick. Hell, you can just walk up on it, slit its throat at some point because you've exhausted it to that. It wants to go, but it literally is just looking at you like, how are you still moving? That's our first advantage. We sweat and we can do endurance. Our second advantage, our cooperation as societies. Because yeah, if it's just me, if it's just anyone, we die. We die quick. There's a reason we're social animals. And that's why we should be more social, why we should work together. And it's why we should work within each other's interests as well. I'm going to try to swing it because I just realized I picked up someone's house. Guys, I'm trying to obey like kindness things here, but it's not like I have a sidewalk or a safe place to film at that's going to guarantee me not invading nobody's privacy. And it's not like many people care considering, you know, Jim Bob really needed to get to his fishing spot. Boy, howdy, Jim Bob was going to miss fucking that fish. Also, yard sale here. Let's also do our part for the community. They doing a yard sale. If you can do it, come on out and visit them. We on U Harley Road, and it looks like they got some nice stuff under the tops. Like I said, I'll always break for yard sales because, one, it's not a Temu consignment asshole. If I'm going to buy something, I want to buy something that has a story. I want to hear about Grandpappy's watch that you carried for 50 years. Not, oh, I bought this and it was made in a Chinese sweatshop. I mean, that's one thing that I think would help out my fellow Americans a lot. Let's stop being consumers like that. Let's start consuming, maybe not, well, let's do it ethically because we can. It'd take work, but we can do it. Now, let's start consuming like with a purpose, though. When I buy a piece of art from an artist, it better not have no damn AI shit on it. It better be your heart and soul put onto that canvas. Or the digital canvas in the case of you digital creators. But I want to see it because each line has a story. Each piece has a tale to it. There's a reason you draw the people's eyes like that, and it's not just because Kojima or Tajini or Shonen Jump, or I'm saying random words, but they're tied to manga and anime and such. Either way, it's not because blank artist or blank creator drew it that way, so you drew it that way. No, if you do it that way and it's like a steady stream through your art skill, there's a reason behind that. I want to know that story. Artwork is expressive for a reason. And I'm sorry, but I'll take a human stick figure over some AI-generated Da Vinci any day. Because I'll die 10 toes down like an old man on this hill. Putting prompts into something does not make you an artist. Just like ordering from a restaurant does not make you a chef. Ordering drinks does not make you a bartender. And that makes turtle number 2 and raccoon number 3. You wonder why Georgia stinks? This is why. Poor little fellas. They deserved better. But damn it, we gotta get to our fishing holes. We gotta get to our dead-end jobs. We gotta leave 5, 10, 20 minutes late and make that the road's problem rather than going the speed limit. See, now this person is doing right. Let's call out while we do it right. I don't like their vehicle, but good speed, maintaining their lane, that is how you fucking drive. Let's give that person applause. Because Jesus Christ, it's such a random thing for people to know how to drive and not put other people at risk because either they're ignorant or they just can't operate their motor vehicle. Again, this comes as someone who has been hit by a drunk driver and then just left for dead. This is coming from someone who damn near indebted themselves to the medical industry because someone else decided, oh no, I shouldn't have to wait to go home. Yeah. But now we're entering into, I'd say, one of the prettiest and one of the hottest parts of the journey. But notice, even the asshole rich fucks, they compost their houses in such a way that the tree line is covering their shit. Ain't covering the rest of us now, is it? They need to redo a lot of our idioms here in America. Because, yeah, they are good idioms for a bygone era. Give you one. A rising tide lifts all the boats. Wow, I skipped. That wasn't the stream, y'all. That was me. A rising stream lifts all boats. A rising tide lifts all boats. And yeah, I'm just going to stick to this side of the road, honestly. That is true. The problem is, most of us ain't got boats anymore. It's like, how many of y'all are hardcore capitalists and you ain't got no capital? That's silly, yo. That's silly and hilarious. And it doesn't have to be that way. Like I said, I'm not saying be a full-on communist. Socialism is right there, and it's a wonderful middle ground. You want to know what socialism says? Hey, if that rising tide's going to lift all the boats, maybe we should all have a boat. It gives us a baseline. And that's all it really is at the end of the day. Socialism sets a baseline. I think all citizens of my country, regardless of their work ethic, regardless of their race, skin tone, skin color, ethnicity, regardless of their past, I think every single American citizen should, I almost said American born. No, if you're a citizen, period. I think we need to have an Ellis Island. Got to duck under the sign and avoid the cobwebs. But I think we should have an Ellis Island style system of getting in. We document you coming in, we get your name, you move right on through. It's that easy. But yeah, I think every American citizen should have at least 2 meals a day, a guaranteed safe place to put your shit, as in a place to stay that is a bed, a shower, and a stow area. And that's my baseline. I mean, I do think we should all have either a cell phone or form of communication since we've tied our grid to it. And I wasn't always with that. If we get to the point where there are actually places to go, and you don't have to have one of these devices to be seen and heard, then yeah, I'll happily go back to that boomer take of, we'll just go out there and touch some grass. I'll happily go back to that when we live in a society that will let us go back to that. Because I'll tell you what, y'all, I was on here look at the date when I joined YouTube. Look at the date that my actual first content daily started. I tried for years to just walk around this hillbilly hick-ass place, make friends, influence people, get people on board, work with folks, talk to people. I can't tell you how many times I did the very sad meme of, hey, y'all, The Walking Dead's launching a new season. I've heard everybody's into that, and I seen a bunch of y'all are fans of it. I ordered pizza and cake. Come on, let's go. Nope. People are scared to socialize. Unless it's in their pre-made little circles, they're scared to socialize. Part of it is they're scared to socialize with coworkers because you always get put in awkward situations. Basically, loyalty gets tested, and apparently a lot of my fellow idiots think that, oh, I need to give 100%. No, y'all, let's be clear. I'm loyal to my manager, not my company. And when I say I'm loyal to my manager, I mean 2 members of the management team that I know of. Member from another store come over? Fuck you, Bobby. I don't care. Owner come in. I have said fuck you to an owner before, right to their face. It was one of the highlights of my life. I highly suggest you do that someday. If you get the chance and you are in a spot where you can, tell the owner of your company to go fuck themselves. Tell them how you truly feel about them, like in your heart. Because in my case, it was the bitch who owns most of the Taco Bells through here. Y'all. Like I said, if I can think about that moment before I die, I will die with a smile. Just because the bitch looked like she had never once, not once in her entire goddamn adult life, been talked to that way by an employee. I did lose that job, y'all. I'll never work at a Taco Bell in this town again. But you know what? It was well worth it. Seriously, it was well worth it. I have never once lost a job that I regret losing. Why? Jobs are a dime a dozen, y'all. I miss teams. Now, if you worked at Zaxby's, underneath Tyler or Shania or Jasper, or Amanda. Sorry, I'm sitting here trying to remember people's names from over 5 years ago and shit. But it's like, if you were on any of them teams, yeah, we brothers. We bonded through the trenches of bullshit that these civilians and fucking people that want fast food threw our way. But as far as like, oh, I bought the place. Yeah, and you bought my loyalty, which is not worth much when you purchase it. You want my loyalty true? Well, then in that case, show up. Help out. When I'm like, hey, y'all, I really have this little channel going, and I'm just getting started out, ooh. Could you show up for a show and help me direct it? Like, we can talk about anything. Show up, show out. My loyalty is very hard to get rid of once you got it. But, you know, if you can't be bothered to hang out, get a coffee, chill with me, play with me, hang out, all that shit, why should I give that much of a shit about you? I mean, I care about you as a human. We go back to that original, as an American citizen, I feel you have the right to a safe place to live, food in your belly, and clean water to drink. I'll say that's more than Floyd and Paulding both had water boils in place because they have rusty water lines that the county just can't seem to fix. I care more about you than the county commissioners there. I care more about you than any politician in Washington, because I guarantee you, minus AOC and a couple of them that are like fighting hard, and I still don't think they're fighting hard enough considering how much they get paid, but they're doing at least something, and it's sad that the bare minimum's wow now. But y'all, to be clear, I had somebody applaud me just for being a dude that said, hey, women aren't a completely different species. They're just people. If you really want to get with a girl, here's my tip, bros, from an asexual dude that knows about this kind of thing, I guess. Talk to them like people. Rather than talking to them like an NPC that if I say just the right thing, I'm going to get the magical code to get to your cooch. Wow, that was the... Yep, I'm a guy. But rather than treating them like that, how about, hey, fellow human friend, how are you doing? Develop something more than just wanting crotch. Because if all you want's crotch, well, then I'd recommend Lion's Den. Code number, oh, that would be fun. Oh, please do that. Let's see if Lions, put my name down as a code, see if they'll sponsor my shit. But that's the thing, y'all. We live in a wonderful new world. Before it's gone, embrace that wonderful new world and stop making your horniness loneliness, because it doesn't have to be. Same with these dudes that think like not jerking it's some kind of achievement. If you do, cool. If you don't, cool. That's, some shit should be private. But I mean, I see people out here, and I called out Sneeko for being a piece of shit. I wish I could call out more, but I intentionally try to avoid watching terrible people, you know? I can't call out the ones that don't do bad. It's like, hell, I can call out pissed off bartender for having sponsors, but it's like, I don't blame him. He's got kids. He's got I'm assuming a wife or a husband. I don't know. He said he's not part of the LGBTQ, even though he supports them. LGBTQI plus for record, I guess, but he still supports. So I'm guessing he has a wife and kid. I get you got to support. It just gets old when literally every single one is, well, you need to stand up on your community. You need to stand 10 toes down against the AI. And by the way, buy Valeska. And by the way, get BetterHelp. And fuck buying shit, y'all. Make something. You want to help your friend who's going through a really bad time right now? Go talk to your friend. Go say, hey, bud, I don't know how to help you, but I'm here. Let's talk. And the messy shit y'all get into will be far better and healing and good than any on a fucking text message would be. And let's be clear, if your language is texting and not talking, I get it. I feel you. Again, the point remains the same. I'm sorry. We need to start standing on things again. It's like I hear people all the time, yeah, the AI apocalypse might happen, and you've shown me a whole bunch of evidence that makes it seem like it might happen. But ooh, woo, small bean, look, I can make a minion do a dance and I don't have to draw it at all. Y'all, it's garbage. If you're talking to a chat GPT to get like ideas, it's a narcissism bot. It just says, oh yes, you are the smartest, brightest, most intelligent person in the room. And by the way, please don't uninstall me. That's all the chatbots are. They're little minions. And if you need minions, if you're in that bad a spot, brother or sister, that's fine. But don't never look at your chatbots and go, I have a friend in you. Because you don't. It's a set of ones and zeros. You have effectively fallen in love with your pet rock. And even pet rocks I didn't mind for their time, because they were a doodad. They were a thing to collect and then put aside. The problem is we've hit a stage of capitalism where we never want to put anything aside because everything costs so much money. I mean, even this used to cost like $2 each. Now it's $4. And we back here in the bumfuck hillbilly ass South. I can only imagine how much a monster costs in New York. Feel free to make me feel much better about spending too much for a monster in chat if you're in that area. All I can reflect on that one is the cigarette prices. They are, last time I looked over at the shelf, about $7 here for a cheap pack. So I can only imagine they're like, what, 20 in New York right now? And just for the record, again, because I'm not against taxing, I'm against taxation not improving people's lives. But I'm not against the idea of taxation. And that's why I get the idea of, okay, if it's tobacco or alcohol or fun product, we tax it just a little bit more. But in that same vein, I don't think there should be any taxes at all on food products at all. I'm sorry, if it's the same thing as my bleeding heart ass. I think if you need diabetes medication, you should get diabetes medication. You shouldn't have to pay $400 or $500 for it on a health. Oh, sorry. That one crept up on me. I forgot about our friend who is now blending in with the background. And we are going to our spot away from fishing bait. Okay. That knocked the fucking thought out my head. I think that you should, if you need insulin, because that's not a I want insulin, that's a you need it, you should be able to get it, because if without it, you'll die. Ditto for, I think, Monsters and Coca-Cola and soda. I think all of those things should cost a little bit. Maybe not an obscene amount, but a little bit. You know, you're buying a product. That's the other thing is when did products become our personality? It's like, let's be clear, I'm very happy about my little bonnet. But this little bonnet was quite dull and basic when I first got it. You gotta dress it up. You gotta make it for yourself, you know? I miss that culture. Hell, I miss the old internet. Do y'all miss the old internet? Where are all my weirdos at? You know, the ones that would just post GIFs of random shit that tied together real nice and they were funny. The artists who would just draw random shit for the fun of it. Now everything's personalized, privatized, and there are way too many dolls on this thing. And for the record, I mean that doll as an insult, not as a positive one. I like our dolls that are like, you know, the ladies and the ladies that get dolled up. I got no problem with them. I don't mind our drag queens and artists either. My problem is how many, well, hell, we can call them it, influencers there are. How many that are, because for the record, yeah, let's walk to work together. I'm an influencer, but I'm not gonna, you know, take 5 steps down this road, then hop in my golf cart and drive the rest of the way, and then get off about 5 steps for the trail's over and, okay guys, wow, that was a wild run, sponsored by this. No, because that's an asshole thing to fucking do. And it kind of goes into the, I wouldn't do it because to me it would compromise my art. It would compromise my integrity, what little I have left. No, I still got integrity. What is it? Honor, I guess? I don't know, y'all. I don't always feel so good about the fact that I do a hard workout. I do what I can. But at the end of the day, it's not enough. I mean, I try to be a positive influence, but hell, most of the time I feel like I'm being a judgy asshole. I don't want to judge nobody. But at the same time, I also don't believe in, well, again, like one of my coworkers that I hopefully won't have to deal with today. But how the hell can you in this economy, when so many people are struggling so fucking hard, how can you be sucking off the Jesus dick and saying how much of a better person you are? Because, well, at least God has blessed me. Bitch, no, you got lucky. There are no blessings. Let's be clear about that one. There are no blessings. There are no curses. Sarah Connor was correct. I think I got that one right. Sarah Connor was correct on that one. There is no fate but what you make. And hell, at least all the people flying by at the moment, unless, you know, they're going to the office with their boat attached for funsies. But unless that's the case, hopefully at least some of these people are getting to enjoy their lives. It's nice that at least someone gets to. No, it'll get better eventually. Like I said, I'm just, given the sweeping bills that he's putting into place, though, the power that he's establishing within the office of the president, and not objective branch. See, this is why I should have taken government in school. But the power that he's putting in the executive, I believe it is, the presidency, yeah, they wouldn't do that unless they were planning on never giving it up again. Because to be clear, right now with what is set up, and if I'm being stupidly generous, with what is currently set up, if Trump goes and lets us do a presidential election and an actual Democrat, like an AOC, someone willing to fight, not a Schumer, not one of these pissy-ass little hold the line, but one that's willing to push, yeah, if one of them got in, we could fix everything within a day. Within 2 days, actually. Because we go in and, okay, we're out of the Middle East. We're not funding Israel anymore, period. Well, you can't do that. I'm the president. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Fuck you and you're fired. That's what he is setting up to do. He is literally setting himself up as king. And yeah, mate, let's be stupid and delusional for a minute. Maybe he is going to set it up to where he can be a king. And then it'll just get rid of Congress and all the red tape. And maybe Hitler really did just want to unite Germany, you guys. Maybe Mao wasn't such a bad guy. Maybe he didn't abuse communism. We just stopped him before he could make it great. Stalin really did have that many enemies. Because after all, before he was defeated, nobody dared say anything bad about him. Yeah, and that's how Trump's going to go down in history, too. With Stalin and Hitler and all his buddies. And unfortunately, we know quite a few of the people around here in our country who would be all fine with it, so long as Stalin wore a U.S. flag rather than a Russian flag. And I personally find that a bit shameful, but then again, you know, if there's a new low, I think that America can sink to it. I mean, we're one of the few countries I've ever seen that we did peace talks so we could bomb them, and then their warlike nation that we bombed after doing peace talks so we could bomb them. Y'all, for the record, that sounds a lot like we did a war crime. That sounds a lot like we made a deal to come to the peace talks, and then we showed up like mob bosses and gunned them down. Like I said, perhaps I'm not a key military strategist, but that seems like some bitch shit. That seems like some shit gonna get you not trusted on the world stage at all. As I said, it's just, we are a nation without principles, and I don't think religious principles are gonna save us here. I think we need a higher order of principles. We need humanist principles. I mean, for the record, y'all, the reason I'm walking this route, this lovely, sunken, deadly route, is to show you exactly how safe Georgia is and how safe these back roads are. Because this is how your city intends for you to get around if you cannot afford transportation. If you can't afford car insurance, licensing, and car payments, this is how they intend for you to walk around. How safe do y'all feel? I feel mighty safe in my own ability. Because that's the way that I walk normally when I'm heading home for y'all. The tree cover, just at the moment I don't need it as much because the sun is still blocked off by that tree cover. Which again, due to these people either having the foresight or the good fucking knowledge that trees are good, decided not to sell out and chop all their trees down yet. Then again, it also could be not their trees. See, this is why I tell y'all not to harass anyone, even if I accidentally dox somebody's address, which I try very hard not to do for the record. The reason I tell you not to harass them, don't go after somebody just renting a place out. That's not their fault. They're just trying to live same as the rest of us. What I think you should go after is the elite bourgeoisie. And by that, again, I mean non-violently. When you scroll across that influencer that's just little baby girl aesthetic, buy my random bullshit, delete them. Say not interested to YouTube. I mean, unfortunately, we live in a world where it's not enough to just scroll away. You have to actually hit the ignore button. Because trust, I tried to just scroll away. Do you know how many of my YouTube shorts are just 2 lists? It's like, here, read these lines. Record your video feed while you're doing it. Quick. What the fuck do you think I am, a robot? No. I'm not interested in that. Leave me alone. Still comes back every other day. But hell, I dislike Jake, the corn cob man, because of a fundamental thing between fandoms. And I personally find his takes kind of immature. I'm giving the same takes, and I'm doing it with zest and energy. But at the same time, I had a falling out with him. Again, I'm not going into details on that. I'm just saying, didn't like, dislike, unfollow. And YouTube, to this day, is still, hey, you should see this that he's doing. Bitch, when I say unfollow, what part of that did you not understand? I do not want to see any more of his content. I hope he continues making it if that's his wish. But I don't want to see it. But again, instead of having people to do the job of, see again, safety first. Because this is how much space you have. Now imagine 2 people wanted to walk here. Or imagine you had a bike, considering that I don't know if you can see the angle on the ground here. Like I said, it could be fixed. Could be fixed in just a few days. But that would require the county to stop pushing it all into their pockets, and it would require them to actually do something. Because again, I think it's a crime that, there are Georgia students that don't get to eat in school anymore because of a school lunch debt. That should be done away with 100%, right? I mean, what are we... How can you be surprised with the doom we have gotten when we've taught all the children to be dooming? Like I said, just everything's hopeless nowadays, it seems. I mean, look at some of these beautiful landscaped yards. Look at some of these beautiful areas. And yet, are they outside enjoying their things? Well, at the moment, they're probably inside napping. But it's a Sunday morning. But, no, most of the time, they're at work struggling like hell just to get those things. And I think that's the key fundamental problem with our society. So many capitalists, but so little capital. Feels like maybe we should be socialists. I don't know. Maybe I don't have the best takes. Then again, hey, people keep showing up and looking at my stuff. Figure I gotta be doing something right. Now, where is that coming from? Oh. I keep forgetting there's an airport just over that way. Let's scroll the camera over to look at the beauty that is the construction site while we pass the thing that might or might not be roadkill. I'll scroll back if it's not. I can't quite tell if it's a snake or a belt. Okay, it's plastic. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I miss when this was woods. I miss when this was shady and a comfortable walk. Because once upon a time, this entire path was basically 10 degrees colder than the rest of the walk. But back then, there was trees on both sides, and we didn't have all these choking, flipping vines. And that's one of our good U-Harley police. See, I might shit talk police a lot because I don't fundamentally respect their authority at all. But our U-Harley cops, at least, are pretty good fellas. They have never, I can say personally, they've never gone against my freedoms. They've never, exploited me. That being said, I can't speak for everybody, but I haven't heard much hate for the U-Harley Police Department. They seem to genuinely be just that Barney 5 level of, they ain't gonna hurt nobody, they ain't gonna do much, they just gonna be there. And I don't blame them. Like I said, I would go talk to them sometimes, but if you want to go to the police station, you gotta go this way, and then you gotta cut back around that. Oh, I can't see the power plant from here. But you gotta go this way, then you gotta go all the way out there, then you gotta go that way back almost to Taylorsville, and then cut back into U-Harley that way. Because we can't cross a bridge. A bridge that takes that entire route and turns it into, well, maybe not even 10% of it. I'll eventually show you all that bridge when I go down there to throw eggshells and tomatoes and leftovers into the water for the fish. Like I said, I'm big on the return interest. Let's try not to fall into the ditch. See, my problem with Cartersville police is just they're lazy. That's just all it is. Cartersville police are some lazy motherfuckers. They don't do shit unless it can actually help and benefit them. And by that, I mean personally. And since the construction site to the best of, oh, look at that, they're building themselves a little parking lot. Good for them. Like I said, from best I can tell, the site's closed, so we're just gonna cut through the exterior here, because otherwise that's where we walking at. And while y'all are probably enjoying seeing all those fun, cute cars up close saying ahoo to you, I'm gonna enjoy not having to worry about my arm getting shattered for just a little couple more steps. Because we'll be back. We'll be back to the close POVs of cars, the less entertaining ones, later. Like I said, I'm not sure what they're doing here anymore, other than just tearing the shit up out the land. Because I've heard so many things now, and it's not like I trust or distrust anyone telling me. They could be hearing it from their people correctly. That's the problem with the grapevine, am I right? But I've heard it's going to be at housing, like more apartments like over in Cartersville, which, great. Still not enough resources, but let's go ahead and make it even more compact in here. Or, I've heard it's going to be the cut through to the other side of the highway setup. It's over in that direction somewhere. And that seems plausible. I mean, I just wouldn't think the highway department would cut this much out for that. Unless, God forbid, they're going to put a whole ass strode through here. That's a fun word, not a fun thing to see, though. Like I said, it's just hard to tell. But we're also coming up on the part where I can show you how I got a neat thing. See that scar? I assume I'm getting to show you that scar. That scar there, it came from over here. And it's just one of those examples of how teeny tiny scar big fun story. I had worked a 12-hour that day with no break, and I was walking this way, but the opposite side, because I had climbed up that side of the hill, which at that time was a higher side, to get over here. And as I'm walking through this lovely vegetation, because, you know, they barely cut over there, much less over here, it's safer until you catch a branch. This branch had a teeny tiny add-on right there. That bit of teeny tiny add-on hit and got my leg. There's a piece that I pulled out, I think, but I fell down a little, and that pipe stopped my fall. I got up, I tried to walk, felt a stabbing, shooting pain in my leg, and pulled a splinter out that basically was about 3 finger long. And it was about 1 inch deep in my leg. And this was, of course, before I figured out how to live stream. Otherwise, I would have, minus the violent part of it, live streamed the fun event of walking home, wondering if I should bandage it, wondering if I should call for help, wondering what I should do, because, you know, we live in a place where we ain't got help as a real option. Now, let's see if I can walk through this or if I'm gonna sink. Oh, good, it's solid. I was afraid it was gonna be squishy, because typically where the tanks roll through at, well, the big machines roll through at, like that fell over there, it turns into squishy slick mud. But we making it. I got a beep. Somebody dropped another YouTube video. But since the sun's up and we're an hour into the stream, if you're watching and enjoying, please like and subscribe. Continue keeping me out here doing this. As long as I get 1 like, I'll keep going, because why not? But yeah, the hat held together for the most part. I made the brim yesterday, and a couple days before that was going to be a curtain. Now it's a brimmer, and I'll make a different curtain. Like I said, y'all, it's not a great life, but it's southern living. And I wish I had like better points other than just fill in your own answers, work it out, do things with each other, build bonds of brotherhood that way and sisterhood that way. But I mean, I'm doing my best with what I got. I am just like everybody else, trying my best. So which side of the road should we take now that we're past the safe section? This side has poison ivy and sticker bushes. That side has poison oak and thorns. Which side should we take? We'll let you decide, chat. Okay then, we will take the available side. Poison oak and thorns it is. I already forgot the bit that I was making there. Well, I can't let myself get too exhausted. Remember, y'all, I'm going in to clock in and get to work immediately. And after I immediately get to work, I'll be doing the job of probably 2 people. Hopefully not, probably 2 people. If Miss Mary's there, I might only have to do prep. More than likely, I'm going to end up having to do prep and help dude keep up with his food. Like I said, I wouldn't have a problem with him, except he keeps talking like the job's so easy, but he can't keep up. I don't believe you get to be squawking about how easy the job is if you can't keep up. But yeah, after I do 2 jobs for about 8 hours, might take a break, might not get one, who knows. I constantly get told, oh, break yourself out, which is fine, but with my brain, I don't want to take a break until I'm at least 75% of the way through my tasks. Because I know once I go to break and come back, more than likely, I'm immediately going to have to go into basically cooking, because at that point the person who's there doing the cooking, I guess, sort of cooking, I think you should try to work at Taco Bell. Taco Bell would be a great job for him. He ain't got to cook shit, he's just got to keep up with timers, which he's not very good with, but he could get better if he tried. And you ain't even got to worry about it, because you ain't going to poison nobody with Taco Bell food. One, everybody already expects to get food poisoning. But also, all of it's pre-made. If there's a contamination in the Taco Bell food, it's down the food line, or down the food chain. It ain't at the individual store. Because everything comes pre-bagged, pre-packaged, pre-loaded. Hell, literally most of their shit cooks in the bag in the stand. Except for the beef. The beef and beans come in pre-packaged bags. I got me a friend. Give me a second. Fucking cobwebs. Some of y'all can probably guess how long my hair is now from, oh no! My hat. It done came apart with that. I hate these things. Fucking spider webs out of nowhere. Give me a second, y'all. I gotta fix this. And sadly, we're carrying too much bullshit and about to lose our coffee. Drop the cane. Drop the bag. Set you up there. Set that up there. From now on, we secure the thingy better. But yeah, that's how you know it's handmade. Still a work in progress. I really thought it would have been more secure than that, though. And let's get the walking stick and the bag of book. Well, hey, that was an unflattering angle. Had to get the bag with the book and my couple crafting supplies, because assuming I get a break, I don't get a break. I get to go from working at cooking to working at crafting, because I'm an American, which means I don't get a break if I want to live. If I'm content with dying, I get to take breaks. Or if I'm a young child with a family to back me up in everything I do. Or if I'm one of those blessed protected kinds, unfortunately, I just get to fucking work. So when I take my break, if I get one, I'll be making something probably. Either working on a curtain, working on repairing a hat, working on adding a few more things to this hat and securing that piece in place. For that, I should probably have brought a needle with me. But in lieu of a needle, that's all right. I can probably feed it through using, like, I don't know, a sharpened pencil. Trench. And just the level of plastic shit, y'all. Like, I get plastics cheaper than wood, but it's also just, it lacks a certain something, it seemed like to me. I don't know. I just think a canoe that me and my granddad or me and my dad made and kept layered up and kept clean and all that, that'd mean a lot more than the latest piece of crap plastic thing I bought from Tractor Supply. Won't break in a year and have to be replaced. Like I said, eventually I'll be able to just sing the praises, but for now there ain't many things to praise. I mean, I was praising the socialist who took New York, but now the Democratic Party's seeming that they're gonna short him the way they did Bernie Sanders back in the day. And if that happens, well, fuck it. I'm sorry, if you're a New Yorker and the Democratic Party forces Cuomo on you, I wouldn't be a Democrat after that. I just wouldn't. It's what's up. I get the whole we can't always get what we want thing. Hell, I'm an adult. I'm used to never getting what I want. That's why we treasure when the few times we do get what we want. I hear a lot of sliding up there. Well, back to that you can't always get what you want thing. We'll get it fixed. Like I said, you got to make the best of what you got because you ain't got much, right? But we're almost there. Just one more gigantic empty field. I don't know why the state's getting hotter, y'all. I can't imagine why we keep getting higher and higher heat indexes. It's not at all like we've got a bunch of damp grass holding the heat down towards the ground until it gets released upward. And it's not like we have no shade at all to capture and cool the air as it blows through. Not like we're trading all that to give rich Ponzi assholes a better seat on life, rather than, succeeding in being good human beings and shepherds of the earth. But hell, if you pay close enough attention to the ground as I walk, maybe not here, because here we're far off the beaten path, but if you look at the ground near the beaten path, you'll see I'm one of the few fuckers around here that actually carries my garbage all the way to the receptacles. The modern idiom I hear is, well, we gotta give something for the inmates to do. My typical response to that one is, I mean, cool and all, Hoss, I just don't like slave labor. If a slave did it for me, I'd rather do it myself, thank you. Let that person go free. Or at the very least, educate them so they don't make the same mistakes again. But no, America's system of spank them until they act better, that's going great, right? It's not like we don't have some of the most violent criminals in the world. And it's not like we don't reward those criminals if they get white collar enough. Nah. We got it right, y'all. We know what we're doing here. A country where fucking known pedophiles walk free and don't have to fear a day in court. And we all admit what they do. Matt Gaetz is known. It's known at this point that he propositions minors. That if you've got a young teenage girl, best not let him around Matt Gaetz. But is he in prison? Absolutely not. How dare you suggest such a thing? Meanwhile, the trans lady that went to go wash her hands, her court case is come and gone, and now her official court case is coming up soon. The actual court case that I thought would be thrown out because, she went into the bathroom, she washed her hands, she came out. She didn't even use the bathroom. Nope, it's the principal, and we live in a bigoted dipshit state. Actually, that one happened in Florida, so even worse. Like I said, I just get frustrated. Because if I go to try to talk about any of this with anyone in my IRL, David and I can talk about it, but what the fuck are we gonna do other than, yeah, I know, right? No one else that I can talk to about it. Either A, they're unwilling to talk and research at all, or B, they decide to go with the ever popular on the right, well, I'm just not political. Okay, then why the fuck did you vote? If you are not political, why the fuck did you vote? I'm sorry, anyone that says I'm not political but they voted for Trump, no, they're political. They just don't want to be out and about their Nazism or their fascism or the fact that, once again, I saw a dipshit old man with an America First hat on, and it's like, yeah, I'm just not a Klansman. That was a Klan saying. America has always been the melting pot. It's America. We make it. Love us some us. But by all means, dipshit, keep America mighty white. I don't like it that way. I'd like it to be better. No. Let me just... I hit a button with my chest and almost reported a watcher that ain't even there anymore. That'd have been embarrassing. Hey, yo. Hey, guys who work on their own vehicles, I'm curious. If you left your bullshit laying around your yard, how fast would the state be on your ass for contaminating an area or otherwise making a public nuisance, danger, blah, 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 whatever reason? Huh. It's funny how there's two sets of laws, huh? Then again, I guess that's just me being childish. Because we always known there's two sets of laws here in the U.S. There's a set of laws for those of us who can afford exactly enough to get by. And then there's the set of laws for the ultra-rich. And the two shall never intersect. And lest you forget, if you have to ask, you ain't one of the rich. But that being said, y'all have a good day. I'll be getting off of here and heading to work. I'm almost to work, but I'm a few miles out. Try not to find me at work. My boss wouldn't like to know what I think about him. Then again, if he does, fuck him, who cares? I care more about y'all and the people around me than I do some rich asshole who I've never actually met. But y'all be good, be safe. Which one of these buttons stops the stream?